Hey everybody, it's Joe from Passion Unchained. I almost said the Spot of Joe, but I changed the name because you couldn't find my channel from Passion Unchained. I got my lens cap, as you can tell, which I'm really happy about. It makes me very happy to have a lens cap, not worrying about my camera so much anymore. It is nighttime. It is 7:47. It's getting pretty dark pretty early here. It's in the winter. Clocks went back. I was driving a little bit, and I was listening to an audiobook. One called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Suggested by Andy from Kill Your Inner Loser / Inner Winner show, but not really by him. It was actually suggested by his girlfriend, Imogen. She goes on his podcast too. I'll give a link to their channel. He's a cool guy. He has been an influence on my current goal to build a sex and dating life that is enjoyable and that fulfills my needs. And he's got a heck of a one of those. And it's exciting to work with him. So we start working together soon. We were working together a little bit, a month ago or so. So I was listening to this book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, by a guy named Joe Dispenza. And there is a chapter on, I haven't finished it, but there's a chapter on the things we do to distract ourselves from the present moment, and how sometimes we can do a lot of things, a flurry of activities that might feel great, but really what it's doing, we're not doing it for the sake of the thing, we're doing it because it's distracting. And it got me thinking, what is behind that distraction? There's a period of my life where I was journaling every single day for 3 years, nonstop. I missed grand total of 0 days. I've been journaling more recently, but it's more of a productivity journaling, not so much diving deep into who I am and asking myself questions and being vulnerable with myself. Not so much of that. It's more of me just talking about productivity and making to-do lists and etc. And I haven't stopped to really be with myself in a long time. So this chapter hit me in a certain way. This chapter hit me in a way where it was like, yo, who are you, Joe? I have a fucking tattoo here. Oh, it focuses on my eyes, so it has to be the same focal length. Or it has to be like the same distance. It says, Know thee Southon, which translates to know thyself. At the time, it was written at the Oracle at Delphi in ancient Greece, and actually, know thee Southon, know thyself, meant more so you're immortal and you're entering the gates of the high priestess of the Oracle at Delphi who has direct access to the gods. So know your place, be humble, you mere mortal. That's what it meant at the time. Recently, people have been using it to be like, know who you are, have a self-awareness about yourself, know what you stand for, know who you are. And it's ode to both identity, but then also like know who you're not. And I think there's a big thing to be said for you're not the temporary things that you think you are. For instance, I might say like, oh, I'm an angry person. Well, there are some times where I'm angry, and there are some times where I'm not. So am I really an angry person? It might be a thing to say to like diffuse some tension if I lash out. Oh, I'm an angry person. It kind of diffuses the tension if I lash out, but does that really mean I'm an angry person? Because sometimes I am and sometimes I'm not. I would say everybody is an angry person sometimes, and everybody is not an angry person at other times, no matter how angry or not angry you are on the regular, if you take an average. But so who are you? I would say you're the camera experiencing it. If you have a 3D scene on a computer, then there is this point that you define that's like, this is the camera. Here are the objects in the scene, and this is the camera. And the camera isn't an object at all. It's just the point where the image goes for the computer. So the computer is like, okay, the image, we're going to act as if the point of view is from this point looking that way. And what this does is it allows the computer to figure out like how to render the scene, but it's a great analogy for us. Like, are we our bodies? The interesting thing about our bodies is that I don't know the exact number of years because some people say different things, from like 5 to 7 years, somewhere in between there. In, let's just say 7. In 7 years, every single molecule in your body has been replaced by a different one. Like an oxygen molecule on a protein in your eye is now a different oxygen molecule. Or like a cell on your skin like replaces super quickly. Same with red blood cells. But like, let's say bone. I think the limiting factor here is bone, because bone takes the longest to replace. The molecules in a particular bone cell are completely different from molecules on a particular bone cell 7 years later. It's a different oxygen molecules on them. It's different nitrogen, phosphorus, different molecules on that 7 years later. So how can you be the same person if you're defining yourself by your physicality, by your body? I mean, you grow, you die, your body looks different in different places. If you define yourself by your hair, well, your hair is dead, except for the follicle, and nobody sees the follicle. So who are you really? Who are you that doesn't change? I'm not talking about the things that do, because there's so many things that change about us, but who are we that doesn't change? The only thing that doesn't change about each and every one of us is that each and every one of us is turned on. We can see there's a consciousness, and that consciousness is kind of unique in us, and that we're the only thing that can perceive itself, that understands that, hey, I am awake. That's interesting. Animals, for the most part, with some exceptions, I don't believe have this awareness. Some people think they do, but most people have a consensus that, except for some more developed animals, like I think elephants are more intelligent, octopi definitely are. There's certain animals that we think that they have an awareness of themselves, dolphins for sure. But a lot of animals are just in pattern. They're not like aware of themselves, and even the Buddhists would think of them as, I forgot how they talked the name for it, and I haven't studied it too much, but the idea was that they were the people who thought that consciousness flowed through our bodies and was kind of like in our bodies, and that looked out of our bodies, but we weren't our bodies. We were the consciousness, and they thought about animals as like a lower level consciousness being or something. I read part of the Book of the Dead, Tibetan Book of the Dead, and it was talking about that. I didn't read all of it because it started to get very confusing. Might push through it at some point. So, a lot of thoughts going on, and I figured that I would share them on a video. Because I'm like, why not, you know? If this is a channel about how to be a Renaissance man, well, what is a Renaissance man? A Renaissance man is a man who decides that he doesn't ever want stagnation. He doesn't ever want to stay the same. And he wants to explore new ideas, and he wants to live a fulfilled life by expanding himself in skill and experience and knowledge and wisdom and what he thinks is possible. All these things. And it's also kind of a vlog. It's also just kind of a window into my life. And I'm starting to embrace that more because I enjoy journaling, as I've shared, and this is like a more powerful form of journaling because, yes, I can make videos which are like the Explorer's Code, which I just finished, the last one released yesterday. Yes, I can make those. Yes, I can share guidance from lessons, and I'm no saint. Like I fuck up so many times. I think there's a thing that I can fall into where it's like, oh, I'm teaching you guys, and I'm the man, and you should listen to me. It's like instead of this like stupid fuckboy hat It's like a crown. And this is like a throne, a sort of an office chair with a shirt on it. It's an office chair, trust me. But biceps. I'm working on my body, so I like to show it off. I also get good feedback by my friends when I have a shirt off video. They like it. They think it's funny. But no, I mean, I fuck up like just as often. I think that it's easy to be like, obviously like social media is a highlight reel. YouTube can be like a highlight reel depending on how you use it. But if I'm going to help anyone, I have to be like open about who I am and where I am. And even for myself, like I would hate to like build up a huge expectation of who I am, and then I feel like I have to live up to that. That's kind of shitty. Like, I like the idea of being like, oh my God, like, I'm so amazing, I'm this, I'm that. And in the past, I was tempted to make videos, not like recent past, but if you look back at my videos from 2017, I was still finding myself, but I was making videos that are like, I know better than you. And I mean, I have more experience than a lot of people in certain ways, especially when it comes to embracing change and detaching from the environment and traveling. I have a lot of experience in that, and I can help people detach from the current situation because I've had so much experience with lifestyle change and life change and sudden change throughout my childhood. It's just been my whole life, and I've begun to embrace change in a lot of great ways. But I'm trying to put words to this. If I portray myself as perfect, not only am I letting you down by lying to you, essentially, and misrepresenting who I am, but I'm also letting myself down because now I have to live up to that perfection. Now I have to live up to this level. And I'm not on that level. I'm on the same level that everyone is. I think that I have more experience in certain things, and I think about certain things a lot more than other people. Like, how do I design a life that is ideal for me? How do I optimize my life? And how do I connect to my own life in a deeper level? I think a lot of people on YouTube talk about life. They either talk about the logistics of life and how to build a specific life, or how to figure out so either that, or how to specifically build a life, or how to be emotionally aware and figure yourself out. But there's not too many people who do both. And there might be. I haven't done too much looking. I probably should do some looking. But it seems like there's not too many people who do both. Like, here are the specifics of life. Here's a good philosophy about life. And then here's also how to apply it and connect to it from a deeper level. There's usually one or the other. So I like to build that. And if there are other people, great. I don't have to be the only one. I want to find something that I could give in this space that isn't given by anyone else, so I can be of the most help. But so, it's okay if there's other people doing the same thing, but it also means that I want to dive deeper in some way to give something that is needed. So there's that. But yeah, so let me share 5 flaws about me. And hopefully these 5 flaws will help you see that I'm not perfect, and that my advice should be taken as advice from somebody who may be down the road from you, may not be. And you can throw it away if you want. Now, a lot of the things I say, I wouldn't suggest you throw away. I think that they're very useful and very important, and if you do so at your own risk. But I also don't want to put myself in this exalted position. And I fear that in giving advice and putting myself in the position of giving advice, I put pressure on myself to be somebody I'm not. So this is me getting rid of that. All right, number 1, I get very angry at things. A lot of the time, I overreact. I yell at things when I am alone. Sometimes I will just vent a lot of anger because I have so much frustration I've pent up. And that's the best way I found to let go of it. So I look like a maniac. I look like a madman, just like yelling at the walls, being like, "Ah, why did that happen? Ah, that shouldn't happen." Ah. And nobody knows it because I do it only when I'm alone. So that's a bit of me. That's number one. Number two, this isn't so much anymore, but it is a flaw. And it is a flaw I don't think I've really told anyone. I've probably told some of my close friends. Now, one close friend, I get very insecure. Yeah, this is actually something I grew out of very, very recently. And I would say it's not even grew out of. I put a lot of effort on this, and in the end, I've overcome it. But I had a deep insecurity when somebody would leave me on read, like leave my message on read or not respond, and I would take it deeply, deeply personally. And I would get mad, and I would get sad, and I would keep checking my phone, and I'd be like, why aren't they responding to me? What's going on? Did I do something? I would get all neurotic about it, and I would get all sad, and I'd be like, oh, fuck. Like, what is happening? I really want them to respond to me. Like, they seem really cool. I want to be really cool, and if they don't like me, then I'm not really a cool person, am I? How can I be a cool person if they don't like me? And so it's it's freeing to say all this stuff because it's stuff that I don't really tell people, but it's true. Like, these are things that are flaws about me. And coming to terms with your flaws and being open about them, at least to yourself. You don't have to fucking show them to the world in this YouTube video. Sorry if, like, I'm probably not hireable with all this YouTube stuff out there, all this crazy vulnerable shit. Which is fine because I've decided to go all into YouTube. So, guess that's not a big deal. But you don't have to, like, tell the world, but you at least have to tell yourself. And journaling is a great way to do that, or meditation, or some kind of self-awareness exercise, yoga. But I've decided, so that's another flaw of mine, is that and this is something that, again, like, it's something that's in the past few weeks I've specifically focused on it and dealt with it. And now I feel fine when somebody leaves me unread and like doesn't respond. Because it's not about me. And even if it is about me in their eyes, I don't have to, like, if somebody else doesn't like me, it doesn't mean I don't have to like me. That's one thing that I realized. Like, that's a really good thing to think about. If you're insecure when somebody else doesn't like you or isn't responding to your text, you have to realize that even if it is personal, even if they don't like you, even if they decided that you are not worth their time, that doesn't mean that you have to decide the same thing. It just means that they decide it. And maybe you're feeling bad because you've already decided that, and they're just kind of reflecting that to you. Because if you think about it, if I said, viewer, subscriber, if you haven't, subscriber, you're an orange, and I hate oranges. You'd be like, I'm not an orange. What the fuck? You'd like walk away. You could be like, fuck this guy. he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. I'm not an orange. And then you just move on with your life. It wouldn't be a blip on your radar. Maybe it'd be like an interesting story, like, oh, that crazy YouTuber saying that I'm an orange, like, fucking weirdo. But you wouldn't get angry about it. So why would you get angry when somebody tells you that you aren't worth their time, or like suggests by leaving you unread, demonstrates to you that they have other better things to do? Doesn't mean that you have to feel that way about yourself, but maybe you already feel that way about yourself, and that person is highlighting it for you. That's something to think about. So that's a little bit of a tangent, but it's also a good tangent to have. I told you I'd give you 5. I talk about, okay, this is one thing that I really need to figure out. I talk about passion. This is a flaw of mine. I talk about passion a lot, but some days I'm just like, fuck it. I feel tired. I'm not passionate every day. I'm not high energy every day. And sometimes I feel, and I don't know how true this is, and I think it might be pretty accurate. Sometimes I feel like I'm just a regular person, and the only difference between me and you is that I fucking film this shit. I'm not like a better person than you. And then I get on myself like, why the fuck am I making a YouTube channel? Why am I making a YouTube channel if I'm on the same level as everybody? How the hell am I in a place to give anyone advice if I'm on the same level as everybody? And that's something that I'm still figuring out. What I did realize is that I'm giving advice that I think is helpful. And I might be repeating some things for some people, but I also, some of you subscribers, this might be the first time you're hearing this shit. And so it might be like life-changing to you. The things I'm talking about might be life-changing to you. Or you might be like, fuck, that guy's wrong. Like, I have my life on order. You wouldn't be watching this, of course, if you'd be like, I don't need to listen to this guy. Of course, you wouldn't be watching this. You'd be off doing other things. You'd be off living a great life. And you'd have clicked off my channel. You wouldn't have watched, we're 20 minutes now into this video. You wouldn't have watched 20 minutes into this video. No fucking way. So, I guess there's a little selection bias there, but yeah, that's something that I worry about. And so the flaw here, the thing that I'm not perfect about is I'm insecure as fuck about myself, about my creations, about the things I do. Even though I've decided to go all into this, I'm insecure as fuck about it. Like, how do I deserve to do this? To sit down here and buy a $1,000 plus camera, sit in front of it, and talk to you guys. How do I deserve that? How the fuck do I deserve that? Why do I deserve that? I don't understand. Maybe I don't. I'm doing it. I'm doing a video every single fucking day for 365 days. Probably going to do it forever. Probably not going to stop. But, yeah. So that's flaw number 3. Flaw number 4 is I often spend more money than I have. I'm shit with money. If your metric on how good you are with money is your wealth, I'm in the negative. I'm in the red. Pretty far into the red too. Not like super far. Not like really, really, really far. But I'm not. My cash flow isn't positive. And I worry about money a lot. So that's a flaw. It's a big flaw. A lot of people don't like that. A lot of people don't want to listen to a person that has money in the red, and that's something I think about. But, I mean, I'm not giving you money advice. So I guess it would be kind of weird if I was like, yo, I'm rich as fuck, and here's how you be rich, and then, like, secretly I just rented all that shit. Like, no, I'm not doing that. But I'm also not going to lie to you about, like, I'm rich, because I'm not rich. At this moment, money's an issue for me. Okay, number 5. That's 4, number 5. Number 5. What's number 5? I gotta think of number 5. I promised you 5 things. So I'm going to talk and look around, see if I could think of number 5. Sometimes, here we go. No, yeah. Yeah, let's just talk about that. It's pretty polarizing and vulnerable maybe, but fuck it, why not? Sometimes, in the past, I have chosen a lot of sexual partners that didn't make me happy, because I didn't think I deserved to have sex with people I was attracted to. So for a long time, I just fucked whatever would allow me to stick my dick in them. It was kind of a fucked up thing for my own body to do that, in my own mind. To show myself like, yo, you don't deserve to fuck people that you like. So why the fuck would you, like, do that because you don't deserve it? Like, you going up there and you're saying, hey, you're cute, you want to go out to dinner, like, why the fuck would she say yes? You're a shit person. And that was something that was going on in my head. I wasn't totally aware of. It's one reason why I would suggest to every dude who likes girls to go up to fucking girls and ask them out. And be like, yo, I think you're cute. You single? If they say no, walk away. Don't be a fucking weirdo. But, like, it really helps you confront your insecurities. Because I had a lot of insecurities about myself I wouldn't have found out unless I hit on girls as much as I did. Because I like them. They're sexy and cute and soft. And so I decided to... being vulnerable here, a little nervous. I decided that I didn't deserve the hot girls and that I deserved the ones I wasn't so attracted to for a long time. Now that's not so true recently. Recently I've been enjoying some time with girls that I very much enjoy. So if you're watching this and we've been together, I've probably enjoyed being with you. But there was a time in my life where I did not pursue the girls that I was attracted to, and I kind of anticipated they would reject me, which kind of made a lot of them reject me. And I pushed away a lot of my friends who were really attractive because I didn't think I deserved attractive friends. It's kind of fucked up. I thought that I was at this level. And part of it was that, like, I wasn't working on myself, so I wasn't showing myself that I was worthy of work, worthy of focus. So I was expecting everyone else to give their focus on me because I needed that focus, but, like, I wasn't giving it to myself. That's going to be in the Renaissance Man code, by the way. So I finished the Explorer's code. In one of the Renaissance Man's code, I'll give you a hint or like a preview or spoiler or whatever. Focusing on yourself is a fucking superpower. And that's going to be part of one of the Renaissance Man's code. So, this is a little vulnerable episode, some existential thoughts, and just kind of riffing. Didn't plan this one out, but I wanted to be vulnerable because I've been more planned in the more recent episodes, which is great. I think it's good to have a structure and a brand, and to figure out, like, how can I help and build a structure that people need to watch for the Explorer's Code. But, at the same time, I want to add a little bit of presence, a little bit of vulnerability into this channel because it is a vlog after all. So, hope that I help. Hope. I don't really hope you react to this in any specific way at all. If you hate it, fucking hate it. Don't subscribe. That's cool. But if you do want to see the Renaissance Man's Code as I develop it, and more vlogs like this and the ones you see in the past, then go ahead and hit that subscribe and bell, and I'm going to have a little pop-up thing right here. And the more subscribers I get, the quicker I can go into this full-time. Once I get 1,000 subscribers, YouTube is like, yo, you're cool, here's your ad revenue, I'm going to give you your ad revenue, the ad revenue that we're earning from your video. And that'll help me, because once I can pay my bills from YouTube, I'm going all fucking in, bro. The sooner that happens, the better. For now, cheers.